One of my good friends, she texted me the other day and she's like, Chris, you know why I like you? I'm like, why? Because you know, you're really humble. And I said, I don't think of myself as humble. Actually, I'm offended that you say I'm humble. I really am. But here, and many European cultures, humility is a virtue. Like, to be humble is to be virtuous. You agree? Yeah, it's deep inside your culture, your psyche, your society, everything that you do. Don't talk too much about yourself. Don't think you're too good for anything. And then we're like, why are we broke? Why do we have so low self-esteem? I'm not a rocket scientist, but it kind of feels like it's the same thing. I'm going to tell you why you should not think humility is a virtue. I think of the opposite. I'm going to ask you a quick question. We can do this pretty quickly. What does humility mean? What does humble mean? Go ahead.
To rise others above yourself.
To put others above yourself. That sounds pretty good.
Know enough to know you don't know much.
So basically, I don't know anything. Okay. You see the problem already. Keep going.
It's not thinking less of yourself, but thinking about yourself less.
That's a clever phrase. What does that mean? I've heard that
It
as
means
well.
like not putting yourself down, but at the same time, not focusing so much on yourself to elevate.
Okay, hold that thought. Are you in disagreement? What is your name?
Steve.
Are you in disagreement with Steve's definition of humility? Like putting up others above? But that conflicts just with what you just said.
Well, it's probably more on the side of like, I still want to make sure I elevate other people, but I don't want to purposely put myself down in the process.
Okay, let's try this one more time. Steve, what is your definition of humility?
To rise others above yourself.
Okay, so put others above you, right? I think that's pretty fair. Put others above you. And then the funny, awesome quote, because it sounds really good on the wall, says humbleness is not thinking of yourself less, it's thinking of yourself less. Or less of yourself, but think of yourself less. So that is in direct conflict with this. When you put others above you, the inverse is you put yourself below them. And that's what you all are doing all the time. It's not just you. It seems like everywhere I go, except for America, this happens. Because in America, we say, you're doing great, good on you. You could do anything. And you should. And then we do. It's called exceptionalism. You're exceptional and you can do anything, okay? So let's get into this. So Annie and I get into an argument. She's from Sweden. Deep psyche of like thinking low of yourself. Deep. It is deep rooted. She doesn't even recognize it. So I said, do you know what it means? I just looked it up in the dictionary. And then she wants to argue with me that the dictionary is wrong. You can't just make up your own terms. There's a reason, okay? This is what it says in the dictionary. I'm not saying it's verbatim. It's something like this. Having a low estimation of one's own importance. Low estimation, putting others above you, of one's own importance. Then the only debatable word now is importance. Here's the experiment. There's a jar. It's got 100 marbles in it. If you have a low estimation, how many marbles in the jar?
40.
Good. If you have a high estimation, how many marbles in the jar?
140.
Perfect. It's quite interesting that people use the same numbers on both sides. It's really awesome. What is the best estimation of what's in the jar? 100. So when you're humble, you're giving me a false estimation. It's bad for you. It's also bad for your client. It's bad for your team. It's bad for your family. Because we need to know, right? In every other estimation, how much fuel is in the car? How much food do we have left in the pantry? We don't want a high estimation and we don't want a low estimation. Go ahead, Steve.
Just bring back to your Ikigai market. Given Australia's tone of voice is more on the, say, humble side, do you then, because people often lose your customers by kind of maybe not using that, or do you get benefit from using it given everyone values it?
Let's examine that. Let's unpack that, okay? What service do you do?
I sell drinks.
You sell drinks. That's a tough one. Hold on. So it's a product-based thing?
Yes.
So it's kind of competing on price?
We like to help people think, feel, and do better.
Okay, that's a tough one. Let's park that one because we have to get into some creative marketing at that point, okay? But let's say you perform a service. Just make up a service then.
Social media content.
Okay, social media content. And I'm like, Steve, what do you do? You're like, social media content. Do you do a good job?
Sure.
That's not humble. The humble is like, no, others do better. We're all right. Me as a consumer, how am I supposed to feel about you, Steve? Should I rush out and buy from you?
Probably not.
Probably not. At the minimum, just be fair, like an accurate estimation, not high, not low. I have a huge problem with this word because it's connected to a lot of pain. People who are like, be humble, Chris, tall poppy syndrome, and then what do? We create a culture when somebody does well, we cut them down. What kind of jacked up culture is that? So now you're ashamed of doing it and you get attacked immediately. Yet where do the big companies, the big thought leaders and the big innovation come from? What country? You know, it's like, you see how there's some relationship there? It's really weird. I'd love to change that. So I believe why people think this is good is because they're afraid the opposite is arrogance. Okay? What is arrogance?
It's a compensation.
It is. And this is why we get it all jacked up. We think the opposite of this is this. This is not. You know what arrogance is? Overcompensating for low self-esteem. Anybody who's arrogant is not high estimation of themselves. It's a mask. And so now it's all jacked up. So I have supreme belief in self, high self-love, self-esteem, self-confidence, hopefully not arrogant. And I have really high belief. So this is kind of tied to a lot of this stuff here. We have to start to change this belief. Now, I don't believe I can effectively persuade you to change your mind for like 40 years of culture and training and society, and no one else in the world thinks like this. But maybe I can start putting you on that direction. The most successful people tend to think that anything is possible for them, and they don't feel any guilt or shame about being able to achieve that. How they treat others is where we have the critique. How they talk about themselves is where we have the critique. So we don't have to achieve that and act in this way. This is usually the problem. Because no one wants to be around anybody who talks about themselves all the time as if they're so good, if they're better than others. So let's just go for a fair estimation, not low. That's the problem.